Yeah, I mean, part of that is sort of rooted in the history of relational databases and document databases, right? So if you think about this, the arc of databases, relational databases have been around since the 1970s. You can think about these categories in terms of both kind of the primary benefit that the name describes, but also additional benefits that have been ascribed to these categories just based on the history of evolution. So for a relational database, the primary benefit, your data is stored as a series of relations with predefined columns, attributes or columns, in what we think about as a table, and the ability to link data between tables, which is very powerful, do things like joins. And then there's these secondary properties. Relational databases were typically ACID compliant, typically expose SQL as a data query language, data manipulation language, et cetera. There's a bunch of problems that kind of started arising with that model in the early 2000s. I'm sure most of the listeners of your show are very familiar with. I know you're familiar with. We could go into more detail there, but document databases were born to address a lot of those problems. They store data as documents. They're also scalable typically, but they give up things like ACID compliance as part of that, and they typically don't let you do things like more complex joins over different documents. And so really, where Fauna is at, our number one mission is to make you as productive as possible without thinking about your database.